拿了一碗面给我，哇，那碗面看起来说上面很多的蒜酥吧还是什么，我觉得这种拌面看起来颜色也不是很深。那时候我吃完之后觉得哇，这个世界上怎么有这么好吃的那种拌面？就很简单的蒜头跟酱油这样拌出来的面，而且非常的香，非常的好吃，而且蒜酥非常的酥，虽然会带有点苦啊，有那个印象就一直在我的脑海里面，永远都没有办法忘怀。就我退完伍的时候，因为我学长他比我早退伍嘛，他退完伍之后，我跟他又没有什么太多的联络。我记得有一次跟他联络，但是我也忘了问他说当初他这个是怎么做的。那时候好像家里的那个电话也换了，还有就是那个时候好像手机还不是很普遍，那时候还用 BB 扣，我用借 BB 扣，他给我 BB 扣我也忘记了，所以之后就没有再联络，很久都没有再联络。之后的退完伍的那几年，我常常的就试做看看，啊，但是味道就是没有办法像我学长一样那个这么的抢眼的味道，而且吃起来味道就是少了很多味这样子的。因为之后我自己开了餐饮嘛，开了餐饮业之后，我买了很多的酱油跟酱油膏，我找到了一支酱油膏啊，跟我学长的那个味道非常的类似，但是完完全全是没办法跟他相比，但是就是跟他很类似的味道，所以我又重新的稍微的修改一下，其实做出来的味道是真的也还不错，这是真的。所以我们今天要带来什么东西？我们今天带来就是蒜酥干面，或者是蒜油干面，这两种都可以啦，因为我也不知道它真正的名字是什么，但是这个面绝对是可以拿来做生意，这是我可以打包票，因为台湾几乎很少人在做这个拌面，我们最多就听过葱油拌面、红葱猪油拌面，但是就是没有听过蒜酥干面的。但是我告诉你，这三种面里面最好吃的就是蒜酥干面，而且又健康，好吧？那我们就开始运作咯，就废话不多说了啦，好吧？那我们来穿烫一下猪肉，2片姜，放点青葱下去。我们今天准备的是梅花肉啊，梅花肉，你也可以准备3层肉，也可以准备里脊肉，因为这个等一下我们把它穿烫完之后进压力锅煮会比较快一点。啊，如果你没有要进压力锅的话，你就直接用水煮40分钟，因为等一下我们要把这个肉煮熟之后，把它切成薄片放在面上这样子。冷水下锅，开火，米酒倒一些下去，我们只是把它穿烫而已哦。滚了之后，我们把它稍微煮熟一下。好，这应该差不多了。开火，我们现在倒入一般的可以喝的水。第二次的话，就不用放这么多辛香料了，放一点点就好了。水滚了，咱们就把肉丢下去。这个时候，如果你没有压力锅的话，你就直接盖锅盖，大概煮大概3到40分钟左右。像我是等一下会进压力锅啊，大概20分钟、30分钟就可以了。像这个煮完剩下的高汤啊，它是非常清澈的，所以等一下我们可以放点萝卜、放点蔬菜下去做高汤这样。啊，如果你是卤那个下水的话，像那种大肠、小肠的话，那你那个蔬菜就一定要有酸菜，因为那个酸菜可以压过那种比较骚的味道。再过来就是把蒜头把它切成这种细末状，这种细末，他们有的是说蒜脆，西哥对这个东西没什么研究，反正就是把它切碎就好了。切碎完之后我们要去洗一下，这一定要洗，千万记得一定要洗。西哥洗完就是这样子，这个蒜头一定要洗过，如果你不洗过的话，它等下去炸的话，它很容易焦哦。那我们来开始来炼蒜油，开火，用最小的火，非常小的火哦。刚刚大概是半碗的蒜头，大概就是1碗的油。这个油的话，你可以用，只要不要味道太重的油都可以。啊，如果你们比较养生的话，你可以用橄榄油啊。像我是没有，像我是直接用大豆沙拉油，像葵花油也不错，芥花油也不错。大概就是半碗的蒜头，大概是1碗的油。把它倒进去，蒜头就直接加进去了。炼这种蒜头油要特别的有耐心，如果你火温太高的话，它外面已经焦黑了，里面还没有熟，这样子炸出来的那个蒜酥啊放不久， 所以我会建议用小火慢慢的练。平常如果你拌面啊的那个剩下来的蒜油啊，你不要丢掉，那个可以拿来炒菜，炒完菜的时候淋上1汤匙的蒜油，其实那个味道会非常香。就是人家常说厨师有3种油啊，一种叫做红葱油啊，一种叫做青葱油，另外一种就是蒜头油。这就是人家常说的厨师的3种油。如果你们有喜欢想要看那个如何炼制厨师的3种油，你们在下面留言跟我讲，我就找时间来练给你们。而且这3种油拿来拌面都非常好吃。其实这3种油在那种大餐馆里面，他们都会自己炼，但是他们都不会告诉你们他们用什么。就像为什么我们去外面吃现炒店，为什么他们的青菜炒出来蒜香味是这么重？就是因为他在最后起锅的时候撒上了一点葱油，撒上了一点蒜油。但是在家里的话，你可以自己炼的。如果你懒得炼的话，你可以去外面买。可是外面买的话，1罐好像我记得要200多块，还不便宜啊。像我的习惯是自己炼油啊，记得要一直搅拌啊，这个过程很重要。蒜头不要切太碎，也不要切太细，稍微有点大没关系。但是火温很重要，火温就是用小火慢慢的炼。怎么发现蒜头都已经慢慢的浮上来了，代表这蒜头都已经熟了。一样，火温都是一样，要记得要一直搅拌哦。差不多了，已经炸到差不多了，除非你要再让它焦黄一点，怕有的炸过头会苦啊，所以大家要注意一下。准备一个漏勺，等下把它过滤出来，关火。我们把它过滤出来的就是这样子。它现在它还是会炸，因为它会用它的余温去炸，所以你一开始就不能炸到非常像这样的黄色，最后它放太久它就变得有点过熟。我们把它放在里面，这样子就是蒜酥。再过来这个就是蒜油。再过来我们要来煮拌面的酱汁啊。拌面酱汁的话，如果真正的味道就是我学长那种调配来的味道，大概是这支的酱油。这个不是业配，我是直接告诉你，这个不是业配。你一定要用这支的酱油的味道，才符合我们当年吃到的那种蒜香拌面的味道，就是这支。好，真的都。
Wow. Instead of hitting the button that makes the camera come on, I hit the button that makes the song sound. Wow. I feel like I need to restart it just so we all get the... Yeah, hold on. Here we go. I feel like if any day I needed the ability, I want a flat 5-point harness on this chair so I can strap myself into it for days just like this. I can strap in and I need a gear shift, not for the chair, but for myself to show that I am going into high gear, going into overdrive, afterburners, lit, and ready to take on whatever might have happened. I don't know, anything that might have happened today that we need to talk about on the live stream. There we go. Oh, I can't imagine what might have happened today. Does anybody know what size GPS mount I need for the Mark IV 10-inch FPV frame? No, is that not the most relevant question that we need to cover today? I don't know. Yeah. No. In case you're not paying any attention, you're wondering what the chat is talking about. Okay, I want to start by saying I was right, and about some things, and I think we should start every conversation by focusing on the things I was right about. I was right. I said, and have been saying for, I think 2 months or so, roughly 2 months, that DJI was going to get added to the entities list, that it was inevitable, that the fix was in from the beginning, that the way that the 2025 NDAA was worded was constructed to make it essentially inevitable that DJI and Autel, I believe, would be added to the entities list. And essentially, that would result in a ban of new products coming into the country because they would no longer be able to get FCC certificates. And other people said, you don't know. They could still do the security review. And I was like, well, it doesn't look like anybody is going to do it. And there's not time to do it, even if they were going to do it. I don't think that's possible. You don't know Bardwell. Bardwell, you always, the president will save us. We all know that the president will just like create a crisis and then at the last minute will snatch. The president will tie you to the tracks, and then just as the train's coming, the president will swoop in and snatch you off the tracks. And everybody will be like, he just likes, he just likes drama. He likes to, it's like when I was in high school and people would go, two for flinching. The president basically likes to two for flinching the country, right? That's like, I'm gonna outlaw something. I'm gonna outlaw it. Oh, you flinched, Bardwell. What a loser, what a nerd. You thought I was gonna do it. Two for flinching, Bardwell. Except when he does two for flinching, we all just get, prices just go up by 10% on everything in the entire economy. Two for flinching. Long story short, DJI is on the entities list a day early, I might add. It was supposed to be the 23rd, 24th.
Is it?
What's that?
Is it on the entities list? We're talking about the covered list today, but I don't know about the entities list.
Is that not this? I can't keep the list straight, Blunty. Are they the same thing? There's a covered list and there's an entities list?
Correct. The entities list is the Department of Defense or somebody. The DHS,
Oh.
I'm not sure, but the FCC has a covered list, and that's what can be approved or not, and that's.
Oh. Okay. Well, let's presume that I set that confusion up because I wanted to make sure we could explain it to the people, and not that I legitimately got that wrong. So technically, there's still 2 more days for me to turn out to have been wrong about DJI going on the entities list. Is that what you're saying?
I believe that is correct. Yeah.
Oh, there's still hope for you, Internet. Daddy Trump could still two for flinching us. Oh, I thought I was gonna ban DJI, two for flinching. And all the brave people who trusted and didn't flinch and just let that fist approach their face and went, I believe, I have faith. Those people will turn out to be right for in 2 days for DJI, right, day before Christmas, a little Christmas miracle. So there's the covered list. And the covered list, Blunty, the FCC covered list, says that you can't get an FCC certificate. The DoD entities list also says you can't get an FCC certificate. Is that right? No?
I don't know about that.
So the NDAA, the 2025 NDAA, which says that DJI will go on the covered list, not the entities list. Have I been mixing these up all this time? This is a hell of a way to end a tirade about how I was right.
I need to see. I believe it is the covered list that it goes on to. I'm not sure about entities list.
Oh,
Hold on.
let's double check. I'm going to get a splinter out of my hand. This live stream, the perfect time to do that. All right. Let's get that straight. I mean, that's really relevant. Covered list. I thought it was the entities list. I may have been mixing it up this whole time.
The entities list is that one that was threatened by like Elise Stefanik and stuff like a year or two ago that we talked about that wouldn't actually affect consumers. It only affects the government when they add something to the entities list, because then it bans certain government employees from purchasing it. But the FCC covered list is what prevents certification by the FCC for Part 15. And so,
Okay. The reason we're talking about the covered list today is that today DJI was added to the covered list, and in fact, the memo specifically references the National Defense Authorization Act. So presumably that's what the NDAA was talking about. Set the entities list aside. Guess it's the covered list. Let's see, Blunty. Give me a link. Blunty, I know you have it handy. Can I have a link to the actual PDF of the announcement? You got that? Drop that in the Discord for me, please. Thank you, sir. So today, this came out. So, long story short, I was right, because this is the thing that the NDAA threatened to do, and it happened today, December 22nd. Because this explicitly references that, I think. Today, released, Public Safety and Homeland Security Bureau announced its addition of uncrewed aircraft systems and UAS critical components produced abroad and equipment services in Section 1709 of the 2025 NDAA. See, that's the thing that I've been saying was inevitable, this part, to the FCC covered list. We'll cross-check that entities list versus covered list later. But here's why everybody is freaking out. It's not me, I'm fine. I'm good. PSHSB announces the addition of uncrewed aircraft systems and UAS critical components produced in foreign countries to the covered list. In addition to those entities listed in the FY 2025 NDAA. Wait a minute. I thought DJI and Autel were supposed to be added to the covered list. What does UAS and UAS critical components produced in foreign countries mean? Oh, well, easy. There's a definition at the end of the document. Uncrewed aircraft means the meaning found in 47 CFR 88.5, an aircraft operated without the possibility of direct human intervention from within. Oh, so it's a UAS. And UAS critical components means these, not including but not limited to the following components and any associated software. Data transmission devices. Well, that's just about everything. Communication systems, flight controllers, ground control stations, navigation systems, sensors and cameras, batteries and battery management systems, and motors. So any foreign manufacturer of those things has been added to the covered list. And what people are asking, and the question that I think we need to address right now is, does that mean that basically a fearful person would say, well, basically everything I use to fly FPV is now can't be imported. I don't think that's true. We're going to talk about why. But if people are freaking out, that's why. Lindsay, does that seem like the right sort of overview of what's happened?
Yeah,
Would you
that's
agree?
correct.
Yeah.
Most of chat is freaking out because they think motors and flight controllers and everything is banned starting now because Maztec made a video about this. So
Okay.
I just
So let's talk about this. Yeah. There are various ways in which this is not a freak out, run around with your head, like a chicken with his head cut off, so to speak. Sky's falling. There are certainly ways in which a person might read this and go, wow, that's pretty weird. What does it mean? But speaking specifically to Maztec's video, which I haven't seen, I only just learned about this, about an hour before the live stream, and have been sort of researching it since then. This is the FCC covered list, the Federal Communications Commission. The FCC covered list means that one thing, basically, that anyone on the covered list can't get an FCC certificate. Do motors need an FCC certificate? They do not. Motors don't transmit radio signals. So it seems like this list of definitions might have been just copied from somewhere else. What is a UAS critical component? Well, for the purpose of this determination, and then I would guess or speculate that they just pulled this list from some other document which defined the term UAS critical components, or they had, AI write it. Dear Gemini, what is a UAS critical component? I don't know. And they just copied it in here without editing it. But clearly, the FCC has no jurisdiction over batteries, over motors, over cameras, navigation systems, right? Ground control station. The FCC only has jurisdiction over things that need an FCC certificate. I would even go so far as to say that Part 97 equipment, like analog video transmitters. Now, Blake, I'm curious if you have an input on this. Part 97 equipment, like analog video transmitters, they operate under Part 97, but don't require a certificate like a Part 15 device does. Would you say that a Part 97 device that complies with all the requirements of Part 97 would, if it was on the covered list, that it couldn't be used or couldn't be imported? I'm not a lawyer.
I'm not sure, because Part 97, it just falls under Part 97, right? It doesn't actually get authorization as equipment, correct?
Exactly. It's my understanding.
I believe you're correct then. Part 97 is still fine, but Part 15 doesn't work because Part 15 is a certification you need to get. And just to be clear, the FCC still views this the same way. I put a link in the Discord for the other document they released, which is a press release, like a news document about this. Mm-hmm. And on page 2, they redefine what this is, what a covered list is, just to make sure you understand it.
So I'll click on that in just a second. Sunshine points out, if you haven't seen Madstech's video, Madstech didn't say the sky was falling. Just that people that didn't see his video are running and saying, Mads released a video, we're screwed and the sky is falling. Fair enough. I haven't seen. Sometimes Madstech does say the sky is falling, and sometimes he's right. But I have a few times in history thought, the sky isn't falling quite as much as he said it was. So I don't know. Let's look at this document. But I haven't seen the video, so fair enough. Let's hedge that and make sure we don't accuse him of something he didn't do. FCC, here's a fact sheet. Okay, I'm just now seeing this for the first time.
So if you go to the second page, it's very clear.
Okay. The FCC's covered list?
Yeah, the FCC's covered list is a list of communication equipment and services that are deemed to pose an unacceptable risk to the national security of the U.S. and safety and security of U.S. persons. And then you skip down one. Equipment on the covered list, covered equipment, is prohibited from getting FCC equipment authorization. Most wireless devices require FCC equipment authorization prior to importation, marketing, or sale. Covered equipment is banned from receiving new equipment authorizations, preventing new devices from entering the U.S. market. I mean, I think it's very clear about what this does, and that's what this does. So as you said, a motor doesn't need that, so a motor doesn't count. Motors are listed because they listed a bunch of definitions, and who knows, maybe this will be a way they can deny a drone later because the drone's got a Chinese motor on it, right? Who knows? But this does cover specific things. They didn't make up new ruling, right? There's no new wording in the document that explains how the new equipment authorizations would work. There's no new parts referenced. There's no new things submitted in the register, stuff like that. So I would say that those components are just a symptom of how they built it. Now, they may be an indication of what they want to do.
Yeah, so let's shift gears then from the sort of legalese, and although we're not lawyers, but trying to read to the best of our understanding, the legal interpretation of these. The legal interpretation of these statements, it might mean that there might be challenges to importing new devices that need FCC Part 15 certification, which, for the sake of FPV, but if you're talking about, drones, like, DJI style drones, then it's all of them. But for FPV hobbyists, it might be things like, Valenti, you and I looked at express LRS receivers. Radio Master express LRS receivers have Part 15 certification, although no one else's do. So it's a question of whether that's actually required or not. And not much else. A lot of other devices that we use in FPV, rely on the Part 15 certificate of, like, if you take an ESP32 chip and you put it on your device, that chip has Bluetooth on it, but you don't need certification for your device because that chip already has the Bluetooth baked in, and presumably, I guess, it has the certificate. So actually, Radio Master is getting those certificates because their receiver also transmits, I guess. But there aren't a lot of FPV hobby components that actually have Part 15 certification. But setting aside the sort of legal interpretation, practically speaking, I think the impact on hobbyists is going to be largely zero, because all of the stuff we buy, like, is all so under the radar anyway. I don't see anybody even noticing or caring, and so the real question is, what do they mean when they say, what is their intent behind this? And I think the intent is clearly to boost the fortunes of American drone companies and American drone manufacturers. If I was a company in the U.S. that makes drone components in the U.S., I would feel like this is a signal. And again, who am I, right? I'm not an MBA. But I would feel like this was a signal from the administration that they're going to have my back going forward and going to make it beneficial for me to make money. I assume that the companies that are going to be the ones making the money will be ones who have ties to the administration and are ways of, sort of saying, hey, don't you think it would be a good idea if we were, the ones to do this? But right now, it seems like the ones who are clearly on the up and up are the American drone manufacturers. Yeah, that's how it seems to me. What does that mean for hobbyists? I mean, again, I think it's extremely likely, just like the DJI O4 air units weren't getting into the country, and now you can buy the Flywoo air unit, and they get into the country. And DJI is definitely at the top of the visibility chain in hobby components. Like, do you really think that this means that you won't be able to get a SpeedyBee flight controller or a GEP-RC video transmitter or a TVS video transmitter? I doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yeah, just remember though, like you said this, but just to be clear, like almost every Special LRS piece of gear you own other than some Radio Master gear does not have an FCC certification. And technically, legally, it should have been sold to you with an FCC certification. So, because it's sold to you as a hobbyist, not as a ham operator, right? So
Yep.
Just to be clear, we don't know how much this changes because we don't know what's actually going to happen. We don't know about enforcement. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, if they're going to knock on stores' doors or send emails or whatever, right? But in technical rules, it doesn't change that much for us in how it applies to what we've been doing, other than DJI gear and stuff like that.
So DJI drones, like DJI drones specifically, and I think it would be easy to say any foreign-made drone. I don't even mean like FPV bind and flies. I feel like they fly under the radar, but like drones from companies like DJI, Autel, who else? Well, I can't even think of them. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. Whether American companies like Teal or Skydio or Neros come to mind, whether those American companies will have trouble getting foreign components, I don't know, probably not. FPV bind and fly quads don't have FCC certification. The video transmitter is a Part 97 device, and the receiver, I don't even know. But they just don't. We just use them, and yeah. So, I'll say this, and I think we're going to move on. The wording was a little bit shocking in its scope. Like, we expected them to say DJI and Autel are added to the entities list, and maybe they would also say, oh yeah, and we're going after these drones that already got certificates. But for them to just say, all foreign SUAS and SUAS critical components are added, even if adding them to the covered list doesn't. I keep saying entities list. I apologize. I should not do that. Even if it has no practical effect, for them to cast such a wide net definitely is eyebrow raising. But I don't think we're going to know what it all means, and I think that's a thing that we have also seen, which is like sometimes with this administration, they do something and you don't know what it actually means until 6 months down the road. And sometimes it plays out exactly like people said it would. I don't know, but how about that? There you go. Anything else, Plenty, you think we need to cover before we move on? I'll say one thing. One thing, here's a question we don't know the answer to yet. Do you remember when, I don't remember exactly who got hit, but the FCC hit some stores for selling video transmitters over 1 watt in power? Because there was a limit. There's a limit, 1 watt of power for telecommand of an RC aircraft in the Part 97 rules. And the FCC fined GetItPD, was one of them. They fined them for some 1.3 gigahertz video transmitters, which were not legal to use, but also for selling 5.8 video transmitters over 1 watt. I can show you the PDF where that's all written down. I've looked it up in the past. I'm not going to do it right now. You just have to take my word for it. It was GetItPD also. Hobby King was the 1.3 gig for sure, but GetItPD specifically got dinged for the and the only reason I say that, Plenty, I'm so positive about this because there's a footnote in that PDF where they specifically reference Part 97 subsection whatever that is telecommand of an RC aircraft, and it is the only time we have gotten a concrete indication that the FCC considers the video transmitter to be part of telecommand. But some people had previously argued that only the control link was telecommand and that the video link was not telecommand, it was just sort of a video link. And the FCC fined them for going over 1 watt and referenced that subsection. So I remember this very, very vividly. It was Hobby King, certainly the 1.3 gig video transmitters for sure, but it was also GetItPD. And after that, all of the FPV retailers stopped advertising video transmitters over 1 watt, except if they were a retailer or had a website specifically about ground vehicles, they would advertise it. But on the FPV, on the drone side, they would just say max power. They wouldn't say 1.6 watts. And that's why all the video transmitters nowadays, in the US sites, they don't list the output power. They just say 1 watt plus, but they don't say 1.6 watts because they don't want to get fined. It would be interesting to see if any stores start dropping any products that they think might not be legal to sell, even though sort of technically, and then hobbyists end up having to go to AliExpress and foreign sites and ordering directly because of that. It's too soon to say. You would need to probably give them a few days to talk to their lawyers, but it'll be interesting to see. If I wish I had a statement right now from a GetItPD or a Pyrodrone about how they think this is going to affect their ability to procure parts. So, anyway, there you go. That's where we're at. Hobbyists are pissed off right now. United States drone companies are seeing dollar signs, I'm sure. Go ahead, Lindsay.
We should bookend this by saying we're in an era right now where things can change overnight.
That is true.
This is a wildly written document, as we talked about. It includes a lot of components that aren't included in what the FCC can cover. It includes a lot of language that doesn't make a lot of sense. We have a couple lawyers in chat, not speaking as a lawyer, as speaking as people, but saying like, hey, this doesn't make a lot of sense, lawyerese-wise.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth it to point out that this could change tomorrow. This definitions could change tomorrow.
There absolutely will be lawsuits, right?
Like the word foreign is not defined. So
Yeah, does
any country that's not the U.S., but NDAA product can be made in countries that are not the U.S. So does this actually not include NDAA product? Like there's
Right.
a lot of pieces to figure out here. So
Yep.
just to be clear about that, like we're discussing what we've seen.
all the companies who moved manufacturing from China to Thailand to Croatia, etc., trying to be NDAA compliant, are now fucked. And like they're gonna sue. They're absolutely gonna sue over this. So.
Yeah, I just think we should be clear about that, right? Because who knows? But
yeah,
that's all we do right now. Also, if you go look at the covered list, they did update the official covered list. Now, whether that will stay, how enforcing that is, who knows? But the official covered list is changed. So
yeah, okay. Meanwhile, we got questions coming in. Let's answer questions about FPV stuff. Is it okay to mix KV, and how do I turn off RPM filters? If you mix motor KVs, the entire drone will basically act like the lowest KV motor that you've got. Your top power will be limited by the lowest KV motor. That's more or less the case, as long as the motors are not too wildly different in KV. How do you turn off RPM filters? I don't think you should do that. RPM filters make your drone fly better. If you want to turn them off, it's in the PID tuning tab, though. Don't do that. My drone doesn't take off. It does a little jump and then does nothing. Yeah, if that happens to you, you need this video. Quad insta-flips on takeoff, 4 reasons why, and how to fix it. Is that what it's doing? Maybe not quite that violently. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. Yeah. I intentionally made those as dramatic as possible, but that's basically what your drone is doing, and this video will show you how to fix it. There are basically 4 reasons why your quad is doing that. It's always one of those 4 reasons, almost always one of those 4 reasons, and that is what you need to just go through the check and figure out which one of them it is. Chad Connolly says, I have a set of V2 goggles that don't have video, but I can hear the fan and see the backlight. Sounds like they're broken, friend. I have reflashed firmware twice now, tried WTFOS with no luck. Yeah, they're broke. I don't know what's wrong with them. Sounds like they're broken. I'm sorry. Like, you want me to tell you how to fix them, but like, I don't know. Is the screen broken? Yeah, but you got an idea?
All I can say is, I would just say if you can't proceed with this and you're stuck, I would possibly reach out to MatsTech or look at FPV Wiki for that kind of information, because they have a lot of teardown information on that kind of DJI gear, and he might know like troubleshooting steps or things you could do to maybe check a little deeper.
Like maybe the screens aren't broke or something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, they reflash, so they're like not entirely alive, but I mean, you're in the I'm gonna open it up now and see what's broke. But I gotta say, I feel like for most people that would just be the end of the goggles. It's like new goggle time. Okay, we got a bunch of questions about the FCC ban. I got some super chats here. Here's a super chat from 8Fon. 8Fon, thank you so much for doing the comments, doing the chapter markers for the live streams. I really appreciate it. 8Fon, a lot of the time, not every time, but that's okay. I mean, nobody paid him to do it, so goes through and makes chapter markers for the live streams when he watches the live streams, and it really helps people who watch the live streams. I would like to point out that anyone can put a comment in the comments with the timestamps of the chapter markers. If you watch the whole live stream, just write down the timestamps or something to put in a file, and I will copy them into the. I mean, anyone that'll just work, but I'll also put them in the description. So, thank you so much for that info. Stella Davila says, hi, I bought a Recon 3 Nano Long Range, but I can't make it hover. How do I learn to fly this? hovering is really hard. I have a Learn to Fly series from 2 years ago. Wow,
Way back.
Longer than I would have thought. Learn to Fly an FPV drone today for total beginners. It is a series of videos where I take you through learning how to fly. I will tell you though, hovering is kind of almost harder than going forward. I recommend you learn to fly in the simulator, and we will go through all the steps of learning to fly, and then hopefully at the end hopefully you'll be better than you were at the beginning.
Way back in 2015, I made a video.
Got a bunch of videos about this, so suggest you check that out. Learn to fly an FPV drone today for total beginners by Joshua Bardwell. Give her a look. Eric Toft, thank you, sir, for a $10 super chat, and for the cookies. Eric is semi-local to me. He's about an hour and a half away, and his HC0 goggles were having the problem where the jog wheel doesn't work, and your menu was all screwed up. And he came over, I loaned him a set of goggles, and he brought me a big bowl of chocolate chip cookies. And that's what friendship is about, isn't it? Elliot, I think I got your question about mismatched KV earlier, but thank you for the $2 super chat. And here's a $20 super chat from El Chingol. Just a small thanks for all the time you've taken out. Oh, thank you so much. No question, just a $20 donation. I love it. Thank you so much, friend. Jen Consumer asks, can we use a DJI O3 antenna instead of an ELRS 2.4 gig antenna, and for the O4 Lite? For the O4 Lite, yeah, you could use a DJI O3 antenna for the O4 Lite. Yes, you can. The O3 antenna is dual band. I don't think you're going to get the best performance out of it, but I suspect it'll work, and you won't damage anything, though. Samir, you are breaking the car. Says my barrel was covered after doing conformal coating. Is it necessary for auto landing, or can you do it with GPS altitude? I would recommend that if you covered your barrel with conformal coating so it's not working, you go into software and disable the barrel, so the flight controller knows your barrel isn't working. Otherwise, the barrel and the GPS will give conflicting data, and I'm not sure what the outcome will be. Betaflight doesn't need a barometer to do. It can do, but it will do it badly because GPS altitude is very noisy. iNav requires a barometer, and RG Pilot requires a barometer. Betaflight, however, will work with just a GPS only. Is that true? I know it doesn't need a compass. Does it need a barometer? I think it doesn't need a barometer. I'm not 100% sure, though. I think it'll work, but I guess I'm not 100% sure. FPV Candy, thanks for being a patron. This question comes from the Discord server. Patrons do get access to the Discord server if that's the kind of thing you're into. If you earned Goggles X and a SteadyView module for analog, would you get by with that? For analog experiments or stuff? Oh, would you get by with that for analog experiments or stomach $600 for dedicated analog goggles? You know, I probably would just keep the Goggles X and the SteadyView module and probably be okay with it. $600 is a lot for dedicated analog goggles. It depends a lot on how much $600 means to you. To some people out there, $600 is, that's just like, oh, that's what I'm going to get for FPV this month. In which case, yeah, go for it. Good set of dedicated analog goggles is going to be better. But, for most people, $600 is enough that I would probably just keep using the Goggles X and probably be okay Richard FPV says, thanks for taking a look at my FPV scanner app. Oh, yeah. Richard, where's the link, Richard? Posted the patron only chat. Richard showed me this. I appreciate that you didn't need to do the super chat, Richard. I appreciate it, obviously. Richard showed me this app, and I said, hey, remind me about this on the next live stream. I think this is cool, and I want to show it to the live stream. So this app is an FPV frequency scanner app. Oh, no, not the music. I'm going to kill the music. It's an FPV frequency scanner app. You buy this little dongle that plugs into your phone or your computer. And it's simple, but it's cute. It scans the FPV spectrum for transmissions. Oh no! And it's like a little spectrum analyzer, but not. It's got the channels. It's FPV centric, so it's got the FPV channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. Right? Helps you with the channel map. And just, you know, if you're like, oh. Now, you know, you may be thinking, well, my analog module can do this. Most analog modules have a scanner function where they can basically do the same thing. They don't do this, though. They don't let you name the pilot on the channel. If you just want to see, hey, is there a transmitter on the channel? Most analog goggles already have that function built in and duplicate this functionality. But this is a cute little dongle for your phone. It's $40. If you hear that, you go, no, I don't want to spend $40 on that. Yeah, I get it. But if you're like, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll blow $40 on that. You can buy it on the Etsy store right here. What? Okay, come on, give me. You can buy it on the Etsy store. There's a little FPV scanner. Just cute. Is it $40? No, it's $50. I thought I remembered it being $40. Everything gets more expensive when I cover it on a live stream.